Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, shooting you another video on my way back from. We lost my brother, technically my half brother, but I call him my brother. It's my older brother, passed away a little while ago. God bless him. Um, and we had to go to his house and sort of clean up and clear out a bunch of stuff. So I have a busy day ahead of me, so I could only do it for a few hours this morning. So I'm on my way home to change into more lawyerly attire and then get to work being a lawyer. So that's what I'm doing. But the topic for today is, what are the two things, the two secrets that lawyers never talk about that may drive the value of your case? Okay? So you may have heard these before in some of my other videos because I've done a lot of them at this point, but the first one is insurance limits. So let's say you are injured, you get rear-ended in a car accident and your neck is sore and you do therapy, and after therapy your neck is better, and let's say you've got $15,000 in ambulance, hospital, doctor, and physical therapy bills. Well, in the state of Illinois, as of the time of this shooting, that would be a car accident case, and Illinois has 2550 insurance. That means 25,000 is available for personal injuries if one person is injured in the wreck. But if more than one person is injured in the wreck, the insurance company covers the other driver for up to 50,000, right? But since in our hypothetical here, you're the only one who got run into, we're dealing with just the $25,000, right? Sorry, I didn't know where I was going. I had to decide whether to stay in my lane or get over. Anyway, 15,000 in medical, you're injured for 60 days. I'm going to be able to cut those medical bills down during settlement. 25 will probably cover it, right? Won't be a problem. But what if in the same situation you have permanent injuries to your neck and there's only $25,000 in coverage? It creates a problem. So a lot of times, let's say you have neck surgery and your medical bills are $100,000 and your neck is, let's say you can return to work and everything, but your neck hurts you almost every day. It's a much bigger case in raw terms, but what are you really going to end up with in the case? Well, that's going to depend on how much insurance the other guy has, right? Same thing for an injury on property. So let's say somebody has a dangerous dog on their property and the dog bites you, or God forbid, bites your child on the face and they have a permanent scar. Or they bite you on the leg and you end up with a permanent limp and a permanent scar. That's a horrible outcome, and $100,000 probably, that may cover most of your medical bills, but it in no way really compensates you. Like if you have a little girl, beautiful little girl with a beautiful mom and beautiful sisters, and she ends up with a facial scar, man, that's worth a hell of a lot more money than $100,000. Or, like I said, if you have a permanent limp from a dog attack, let's say it's a pit bull that clamps on and won't let go, and it takes 5 or 10 minutes for the dog to let go, you can have a lot of damage, a lot of nerve damage as a result of an injury like that. 100 is not going to do the trick. But what do we do in those circumstances? Well, we look at what the assets of the defendant are, and is a corporation involved, or is this just a run-of-the-mill person who happened to have a renter's or a homeowner's policy for $100,000? If they don't have very much money, they're working class, they don't own an airplane or a boat, they're not a judge or a lawyer or a doctor or a CEO, they don't own a bunch of real estate, all that stuff, then they're probably judgment proof. So you're probably stuck with 100. And if you don't want to be stuck with 100, your only other option is to continue to sue them, accept the tender of the policy from the insurance company, and continue with the litigation. You'll eventually probably get a verdict for a lot of money, and they'll go file for bankruptcy. And what they owe you is erased. So your lawyer will have worked 100 hours on the case, 200 hours on the case, spent 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in case costs to hire all the experts, take all the depositions. And then what? You get a verdict. It's like a piece of paper. You could rip it up and throw it away because you will never collect a penny of that money because they'll file bankruptcy. Now, a wealthy person or a corporation is less likely to want to file bankruptcy, and they're more likely to be able to pay a settlement out of pocket. So that's why that's a factor, and that's why at my office, anytime one of these situations arises, there's a means for me to do, an initial asset search to see what property do they own, what property do they pay taxes on, is their name associated with a business or a corporation? Do they have any sort of professional license? How many cars do they own and what kind? Do they own a boat? Do they own an airplane? Any of this sort of stuff. And if the answer to those things are no, then we know that they're probably judgment proof. That's what that means, right? So that, insurance coverage amounts, the last thing I'll say about that is, if you get hurt by someone who has no insurance or crummy insurance in a car crash, you are almost always going to be covered by what's called underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. So let's say, same scenario, you have $300,000 in insurance coverage, but the guy who ran into you only had 25. After you collect the 25, you can make a claim against your own insurance called an underinsured motorist, or if the other guy had no insurance, you can make a claim against your own called uninsured motorist coverage. And your insurance company steps into the shoes of the defendant and will fight the case. They'll evaluate the case, they'll fight the case. You'll probably go to arbitration, or maybe you'll be able to settle it up to your policy limits. So even if somebody runs into you with no insurance or very little insurance, there is still a way for you to collect closer to what the value of your injury really is. So that is the first one. The second one is the skill, knowledge, reputation of your attorney. Okay? So, there's lots of different kinds of personal injury attorneys. Some personal injury attorneys have never been to court or have never tried a jury trial, or they've tried one or two, and that's it. Some of them are high volume firms where the business practice is not to push for top dollar, but instead to just sort of settle the case for what you can get. And that works because they have such a high volume of cases. You often see that strategy with attorneys who do a lot of advertising, like the big TV advertisers or billboard guys. It's from very likely to certain that the person on the TV commercial or the billboard, you're never going to talk to. Or they're never going to even know your name, or that your case is in their office, just based on the volume that they do. And they have a tendency and they have a reputation of just getting money out of the case, calling the client and telling them they have to take it. This is based on what clients calling me who were represented or are represented, formally represented by those firms. That's what they tell me. And then you have the firms who have a reputation of being willing to fight, very professional, very smart. And remember, if you've watched some of my other videos, insurance companies settle cases based on fear. And the fear has to be, this guy could take it all the way. This guy, if we don't make him a fair offer, this guy is a guy, or this gal, this person is a person who we know will go all the way. They know how to try a case. We know they'll spend the money to hire experts. And we know that based on reputation, based on the cases we've had with them in the past, this is a lawyer who is not just gonna fold, just settle for whatever they can get, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there are cases that go bad where I will tell a client, this is a not guilty 100 out of 100 times. And if they make an offer, we got to take the money. So those are fortunately few and far between, but sometimes it happens that way. Or if there's insurance policy limits and they've offered them and the defendant is broke and there's no other means of us recovering money, just had to yield to a truck. He didn't see me. Anyway, there are situations like that, few and far between, thankfully. But the bottom line is, those sorts of things do happen. But for the most part, you're gonna, if you hire an attorney, you're gonna want an attorney who calls you back, talks to you, explains things to you, but has been in the business of representing injured people, and people in the industry know this guy or gal or whoever, law firm, and they know you'll go all the way. They're not just a giant advertiser who signs them up, settles them for whatever they can get, and doesn't really care. So these are things, these are the two factors that are almost secrets because nobody really talks about it, right? Like, lawyers are not supposed to say anything to bring the profession into disrepute or, criticize. I don't think we're supposed to criticize other lawyers or judges, and that's really not what I'm doing, okay? So just by way of explanation, and then I'll shut up because this video is getting really long. I've worked, and I know of law firms who they specialize on smaller cases. They specialize in a high volume of smaller cases, and they excel at it. Why? Because all they do is car crashes that are of a certain dollar amount. And because the car crashes are at a certain dollar amount, they know that the case will never economically bear going out and hiring an independent expert witness. So they know, let's disclose the witnesses, whether we take their depositions or not, they're disclosed, we can call them at trial. Let's make sure the treating doctor is disclosed as a witness, and that's it. We answer discovery, we do such discovery as the judge makes us do. Other than that, we answer ready for trial, and then the insurance company can sweat. And firms like that end up trying a high number of cases. Now, are they going to be as prepared as like a boutique law firm that has 3 lawyers and they have 30 cases in their entire office and they literally spend 1,000 hours working on each case because each case is a $1 million, multi-million-dollar type case? No, they are not going to spend as much time on their little car crash cases, and if they did, the economics of it would never work, and those people would not be able to find lawyers. So, I'm not necessarily criticizing actual practicing lawyers. I'm mainly practicing advertisers who don't do much practicing of law, in my opinion, I guess. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that. And that's all I have to say. You're probably glad I'm shutting up now, right? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I release at least a video a week these days. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Or if there's anyone you know who's been injured in a dog bite, bar fight, car crash, truck accident, motorcycle or bicycle crash, whatever it is, however it happened, if you or your loved one was wrongfully injured, please call for a free consultation. I'll answer all of your questions. No high pressure to hire me. And if you want to hire me, great. So the number to call, you can call 24 hours, 7 days a week, 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Hope you and the family are well. And that's it, I guess. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.